When you're investing in rental properties, the goal is to collect the most rent, okay? So if you collect $800 maybe 38 times versus collecting $1,000 half of those times, you're going to make more money with the $800 rent. Your chances of that tenant not moving out of your property still remain great because they can't get a similar property for that price point. So they're incentivized to stay and pay, and that, folks, is the name of the game. I like to raise my rent. Yeah. Do you? Of course you do. That's what we do. We're landlords. We're investors. We love raising the rent. We love making more money. But I like to do it slow, right? I would do it fast if the more rent that you raise, the quicker you raise it, if that made you more money, but it doesn't work that way. It actually works the opposite way. If you raise it too much or too fast, you lose money. And I raise rent because I like to make money, not lose money, right? And that is what brings me to the property at hand today. 978 Delia Ave. Okay, this is in Akron. It's coming to you guys at $64,999. Now, we sold this to an investor maybe like a year, maybe 2 years ago, something like that. When this guy bought the property, this investment group, it's a couple people actually, they bought it. The tenant was inherited, okay, so the tenant was already living there. They purchased the property. Tenant was paying far below market rent. Tenant was only paying $600 a month in rent. Market rent for this, about $1,000, okay? But we didn't take said tenant from $600 to $1,000 because if we did that, that would greatly increase our odds of creating an artificial tenant turnover. Artificial tenant turnovers are not your friend. Tenant turnovers in general are not your friend when you're investing in rental properties, folks. When you're investing in rental properties, the goal is to collect the most rent, okay? So if you collect $800 maybe 38 times versus collecting $1,000 half of those times, you're going to make more money with the $800 rent, right? Plus, you have to put out money renovating the unit. Now, what we did is we increased the rent $200. Took us halfway from where they were to market rent, got them to stay on, got them to renew. They stayed there, and then now their current lease is good for like another 4 or 5 months. I think it expires October or November of 2025, okay? And they're paying $800. So the cash flow was increased, but we're still below the market rent of $1,000, right? So the nice thing about you buying this particular property, because now that investment group, they've decided to move their funds to something else. So they're trading out. They never missed a month of rent the whole time they owned it. They had rent paid every single month. They didn't have to go in and do any turnover repairs or anything of that nature because they had the rent coming in because we opted to go with a rent increase strategy that reduces our turnover risk, okay? And now you can employ that same strategy because now you only got to take the tenants from 800 to 1,000. Whether you want to go from 8 all the way to 1,000 or you want to take it from 8 to like 900, that's up to you. I kind of like the idea of going from 8 to 900 because what's nice is it's still $100 a month rental increase. It's, $1,200 of additional profit for you. But your chances of that tenant not moving out of your property still remain great because they can't get a similar property for that price point. So they're incentivized to stay and pay, and that, folks, is the name of the game. And this property hasn't been cosmetically updated in a while. These people are long-term tenants. I don't even have footage of the inside of the property because, they're kind of hunkered down in there. Truth be told, they don't like people coming inside their home. They don't feel comfortable with it, and they're not into that. They're not wanting our video crew in there, so that's why all the footage you've been seeing is exterior only. And, when you're working with tenants, it's a very common thing, right? I mean, think about it, right? You got a house. Do you want some fucking asshole coming in your house, like looking at everything, shoving a camera in your face? You want a million realtors and inspectors going through everything, all your personal stuff? No, nobody likes that, right? So that's normal. So that's not a red flag. But I'm here to tell you right now, you're not missing out on interior footage of a fully brand spanking new modern looking kitchen or anything of that nature. When these folks move out, you know, the kitchen's going to need updated, the bath's going to need updated, things of that nature, right? You're going to have to do a unit turn, right? You're going to have to do a unit turn and upgrade, right? So you're probably going to be spending at least, you know, $7,000, $8,000, $9,000 to get it ready for the next tenant. So that's why I recommend going with the slow rental increase policy, right? Market's about 1,000. You get it up as much as you can, but I like to stick just a little bit under that so I can keep that rent coming in, so I can continue collecting that rent, because these people have proven that they want to live here, they're hunkered down here, they just don't want to be bothered, and they dish out the rent money to you, to us, every single month. So all you really need to do is buy this thing and collect the rent. If that makes sense to you, you're interested in buying it, you can send your offers to my team, sales@HoltonWise.com. You want to pay cash? Cool. Include your proof of funds. You want to finance it? No problem. Include a pre-approval letter. If you don't have a lender, I have lenders for you. And we will, of course, get you in there at the appropriate time. It's not that we're not going to allow you to do due diligence. We, of course, are. We are still going to allow you, when we're able to, do a full inspection from a professional home inspector. And if you're financing it, you'll also get an appraiser in there. And if you want to walk it yourself, you have the opportunity to accompany the inspector or the appraiser. That is your choice. But what we're not going to do is just bother the shit out of these tenants. We're not just going to have people with no skin in the game harassing the tenants and having 10, 15 investors tour their house. That's just not going to happen. If you're a kind of person that wouldn't be comfortable buying the property or paying a home inspector after you're going under contract and putting up your earnest money, if that's not something you're comfortable with, whatever, man, that's fine. I suggest you buy an empty property, because you ain't going to be able to buy this one, because that's just not how it's going to go. Because what we're not going to do is we're not going to push these people out, because that wouldn't make any damn sense, right? They pay consistently. They're an asset to this rental investment at the moment, so we're going to continue operating that. The seller not interested in losing money that's coming in during the sale process. So when the time is ready, when you show you have the proper skin in the game, we've accepted a contract, you've put up your earnest money deposit, you've hired that home inspector, you've hired that lender, then we'll have you in there so you can finish up your due diligence. But again, I tell you right now, I hope you're not looking for granite countertops that were updated in 2024, because that is not the case. You're having a kitchen that's, it's dated, right? It's looking like it's from the late 90s, okay, stuff like that. But you got someone in there who loves it, and they're going to continue paying that rent, and we're going to be able to get them up above 8 without a major risk of them moving out. So anyway you slice it, it is a solid investment. Sales@HoltonWise.com. Send your offers there. And what I'm going to leave you with now is the uncut footage of when my team was on site, so you can get a look at the house, get a look at the foundation, get a look at the yard, get a look at the overall condition of the exterior, really just kind of feel where you're at so you get a good idea of what it is you're buying.
All right, here we are at 978 Delia.
Yeah, I don't think they're wrong.
No problem. Get outside, I guess.
I'm never home anytime I'm here. I don't know if they maybe they had to pick up the kids from school, but then why would we be doing a 2:30 appointment?
Yeah, I was thinking that too. Window. We're back. Backyard.
Have you backyard in Akron like this?
Yeah, it's odd. I was thinking that too. Like, they don't have traditional backyards. I mean,
No,
some
it's
houses
just-
do. It's
Like,
just
where would the garage be even better?
it was right here. The pad was right here.
Yeah,
It was just like a single car, maybe.
maybe. Yeah, funny, man.
Luckily, I'm not gonna be able to get a good view down there. Yeah. But I would bet that that's just from, I bet that's a little pantry area or something. Alright.
Huh. The other side?
Yeah, from back here. There's like a big ass tree.
Rubber window.
Yeah, I saw.
Phone screen.
My storm door. Driveway could use some work.
Fucking tree an inch and a half away from the goddamn roof.
Yeah. Can't really see this side, but I'm bugging my eye. Bugging my eye.
Might as well film this.
Yeah. And a 3-day. Alright. Perfect. That wasn't a total waste of time.